Hey traders, and welcome to this Capitalise AI webinar exclusive for EQONEX traders. Really appreciate you taking time out to be here. And before we begin here, if you traders can open the chat panel, you'll see it from the control panel. You'll see a chat box there. Just open it up. And let me know that you can hear me and see my screen. Oh, let me share my screen actually first. Okay, so there we are. You should be seeing the Capitalise AI platform for EQONEX, and just let me know that you can hear me and that you can see my screen, and we're going to get moving shortly. Okay, traders, I'm still waiting for a lot of you to let me know in the chat that you can hear me and that you can see my screen. So please open up the chat box in the control panel, and please just give me just write me there that you can hear me and that you can see my screen. And I'm gonna get moving as soon as I get a few replies from you guys. Let's see, something came through here. Yes, okay, Felix, that's perfect. Wherever you're sending the message from, that's where you should be sending your messages in this webinar. So keep that open, because if you have questions, that would be the best place to send it. Great. So let me just get a few more, and we're gonna get moving in a minute or two. Okay, perfect. I think I've got from everyone that's in this session. And guys, while we're going through this session, please make use of the chat box. If you have any questions while we're going through this, be sure to use that. Okay, great. So let's get into it. So Capitalise AI is a software that enables traders, regardless of their coding knowledge or experience, to create and automate their trading in freestyle text. So in everyday English, you're going to use to create your strategies. If you're an EQONEX trader, Capitalise AI is free of charge. Even if you just want to test it, you don't have to have an EQONEX account yet. You could just come to EQONEX.capitalise.ai, and you can just sign up for free here. I've already got an account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And guys, while I'm getting signed in here, I just want to very quickly put up a very quick poll. So please just take a second very quickly and just answer what account type are you using for trading at the moment. Are you using a live account? Are you using a demo account, or you haven't opened an account yet? I'm going to give it another 20 seconds. So guys, go ahead and please just cast your poll very quickly. Seems like most of you have already. Let me check the call outs. Okay. Okay, most of you are actually trading with a live account, some with a demo, and a few that haven't opened an account yet. Guys, I'm going to close it. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Great. So here we are logged in to Capitalise. And the first page you're going to see is our live examples page. And this is where you can get some ideas on what strategies to run. You can see their performance, and you can choose to run them as well. But I'm going to come back to this in a little while. Just so you know, you can find all of your pages on the left-hand menu bar, and you can navigate anywhere and everywhere on Capitalise. But before we start going through those, just in the bottom right-hand corner here is our in-app chat. So if you're having any issues with creating strategies, or you need help creating strategies or anything like that, you can go ahead and send us a message. So we're going to go ahead to our first item, and that is create new strategies. So here, whether you're looking to use technical indicators like an RSI or a MACD or a stochastic, or whether you're looking to use some price action or levels or volume or volatility, you can even create candlestick patterns on Capitalise. And it's all created here on the wizard. Exactly as you think of your strategy is the way you want to type it out. So let's go with something. Let's go with something very simple for our first strategy. So let's go ahead and go with BTC USDC, and let's go with a bar, a 1 minute bar, not a bar, a bar. And anytime you select a bar or an indicator, you can change the parameters on the tooltip above. So here, I'm going to use 1 bar. So I'm going to look at the latest closed bar. I'll use a 1 minute for that. And I'm going to look at the closed price. So we're looking at the latest 1 minute bar close. We're going to say what's happening with it. So here we can go for it's, let's say, crosses above the upper Bollinger Band. And I'll just use this for our first indicator. And here we've got we can adjust the parameters. I'm going to leave the standard 20 and standard deviation of 2, and I'll just adjust that to a 1 hour. So we're going to be looking at a 1 hour Bollinger Band. And there's our first condition. And you can have as many conditions as you want in a strategy. So we can go ahead here. We'll just leave it at 1 for our first strategy, and then we'll go ahead and say, then let's buy, or rather let's sell, because it's going above the upper Bollinger Band. Let's sell 10,000 USD worth of BTC USDC. Anytime you select an asset on the wizard, you get a link below here to TradingView, where you can reference price, you can add indicators, change time frames, and so on. I do see a lot of people have jumped in the last couple of minutes. Guys, welcome. You're just in time. We're creating our first strategy on Capitalise. Be sure to open up your chat box on your control panel. And if you have any questions while we're going through this, be sure to put them on it. Okay, great. Here we could trade on futures as well, but we only just want the usual the spot BTC USDC. We're going to go ahead now and click next. Notice at the top it's highlighted on exit. Feel free to move back if you need to edit. And just like your entry, you can close a position with anything, including a take profit, a stop loss, a trailing stop, or a trailing take profit. So because we only used 1 condition in our entry, let's go with 2 conditions in our exit. Let's close our position at trailing stop of, let's go with 2%. And let's add another condition. Or let's say if, oh, sorry, let me get my syntax right there. Or let's say if BTC USDC, I'm not going to go with a bar this time. I'm just going to use the price. Crosses below the middle Bollinger Band. So we're trading between the upper and the middle. And I'm going to use the same. I'm going to use a 1 hour close of BCSG. Let's say by at least 1%. Oh, maybe we can't use at least. We have to maybe be exact with that one. Okay, by 1%. Okay, and there we got our exit conditions. And again, you can add as many of these conditions as you want. So let's go ahead and click next. And that's all there is to creating your strategy. It's 2 pages. It's an entry and an exit. On the test and automate page, you can choose whether you want your strategy to run once or in loop. Once, the strategy will enter once, then exit once, and stop. In loop, every time it finishes one cycle, which is an entry and exit, it's going to start the next cycle and the next cycle indefinitely. You can put a limit on that. You may not want to run it indefinitely. You may want to run it for 50 trades. And then for it to stop, you'll be notified of when it stops then. You can also have a total stop loss for the strategy. Worth noting, you can have an individual loss in each trade and then a total stop loss just as added protection for your strategy. And then here you can name your strategy. If you don't want to, we'll give it. And then here we have our entry action, we have our exit, and then below we have our full trading solution. So here you can backtest the strategy, which is going to test it ex post on historical data. We have 2 buttons for this. We have the default backtest button, which will test it from 90 days previous, so basically 3 months. You then also can time adjust it on our calendar. So you may have a strategy that you may only want to test, let's say for last month. You can time adjust it there and run as a backtest. Then we also have Simulate. Simulate is very similar to paper trading, so it's going to show you the trades on Capitalise, but it's not going to touch your live accounts. And then we have obviously Run Live. So anytime these conditions are met, it's going to open and close trades on your live trading accounts accordingly. So let's go ahead here and backtest this strategy. Now, depending on the amounts of hits or trades that your strategy generates, will determine how long the strategy will run for. So anything below, I would say 50 or 60 or 70 should take a couple of minutes. Anything about 100 trades may take several minutes. Worth noting, you don't have to stay on this page while it's running. You can always go ahead and create some other strategies or do something else and come back to look at the results a little bit later. I'm hoping we're going to get the results fairly soon. But here we have, you can email yourself when it's ready. If there's an important backtest that you're looking to, that you need the results of. And while it's running here, let's go through what we can see on the page at the moment. This should start running fairly shortly. Okay, well, let's talk about this first, seeing as this has popped up. Just so you know, our backtest uses 1-minute data. It's basically the granularity of the backtest. You can still run any strategies through it. It's obviously different compared to our live and our simulation strategies, which are using live tick data, updated multiple times per second. It's just the granularity. You can still run any strategy through it. So let's go have a look while our backtest is running. We're going to go have a look at the page, and we'll just see what information we have here. So you can see that it's running at the moment. We've got about 60% done. At the top here by the pencil, you can edit the name of your strategy. It's going to be exactly the same in the live and the simulation. Actually, the live and the simulation are going to look very similar. So if you get this page, you will most certainly get the live and simulation. I think I might be having issues. I'm going to refresh this page because the strategy should have been done by now. Guys, just let me know that you can still hear me okay. Just let me know on the chat box. while we're getting this going. And remember, you can always put your questions onto the chat. Jackson, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, when we refresh this, I think it's just my connection. It should be done, yeah, because it wasn't that many hits. So let's take a look at this page. Here you can see we have 72 hits. And a hit is a cycle. It's an entry and exit. So it's basically the amount of trades that this strategy would have taken had you employed it in the past 90 days. We can see we have a P&L of 17.21%. Here we have our hit limit. Because we ran it in loop, you may want to limit that. This is more relevant for live and simulation though, and I'll get to that when we do our next strategy. Jan, you're saying that the sound goes in and out. I'm really sorry. Yeah, my headphones actually went down this morning, so I'm using my computer sound. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. I hope it's not too unbearable, but let me know if the fading is too, becomes too unbearable. Okay, then here you can run live if you like the back test. You can go live with it straight away. And then here is your control panel. So here you can run live, you can edit the back test, you can clone, rerun, and get a shareable link. I'll come back to this in a moment. So to go through this page, we have our entry that we typed out. We have our exit that we typed out. This is our hit chart here, and this represents every trade that would have been taken had you employed this strategy in the past. It also gives you a nice visual idea of how the strategy performed. We can see it's done really well through that period there and through this period here. It's just had not a great period there. And that makes it easier to look at the trades and to adjust the strategy accordingly. Look at this chart here. We move our mouse pointer over one of these bars. We can see some information. For example, this is hit 68. It returned 3.28%. P&L was 328.27 on a 10K trade. You can also see the lowest and the highest point the trade reached in terms of min and max. Now, if you want to see some more information, for example, execution time, price, and so on, we could find hit 68 on our notification panel here. This goes from the latest to the first trade and contains every trade. Each trade has two cards, one entry, one exit. Exit always at the top. So our last trade was trade 72. There's the exits for 72, and the entry is just below it. So if we scroll down, we're going to see hit 68's exit right about there. And then just below it, we'll see its entry. So we can see that hit 68 would have entered on July 1st at 2:53 a.m., executing at about 19.954 and 52 cents, or 0.52 rather. And it would have exited roughly five hours later, same day, at an execution price of 19.299. Then below here, we have our win-loss ratio. The strategy produced 35 wins at $204 each, 37 losing hits at 147.4. Okay, traders, so let's say you run a strategy like this, or you backtest a strategy rather like this, and it comes out nice, and you want to go ahead and start to paper trade it for a couple of days before running live with it. That's easy. We can go to our control panel now, and I can select clone. And clone is a simple copy and paste. It's not going to do anything to the strategy we just created. I'm going to show you where you can find all of your strategies in all files. Simply going to bring the strategy up onto the wizard so you don't have to type it out again. And because we liked it, we're going to go ahead and not change anything. So I'm going to go ahead and click next and next. And here I'm going to put a hit limit. Our backtest took about 72 trades. So I might want it to run for 80 trades and then reassess where it is. You may also want a total stop loss on this. You may want to say, look, if this gets to minus 270, then let's reassess. You can name your strategy again here, and we're going to go ahead this time and simulate. And this is our simulation page, and our live and simulation page look exactly the same. The only difference is the header. The simulation has simulate stated there, and it's in yellow, and the real are in white. You can edit the name there as you can with the backtest. Then some information that we have here. It's live. It's new. We have 0 hits. Obviously, we've just started the strategy. We're waiting for the bar to cross above the band. 0 P&L as well. We have our hit limits that you can edit there. We have our total stop loss that you can edit there. And here is our control panel. So here you can stop the strategy. Note in stopping the strategy, you have 2 options. You can stop the strategy and close any open positions, or you can stop the strategy and keep any open positions still open. In that case, you'll need to manually close those positions. Then you can also edit the strategy while it's running. No need to stop first. You can clone, run live, change from once to loop, and get a shareable link. Then to look at the page, we have our entry, our exits, the notification panel, the win-loss ratio, and the hit charts are yet to populate. But the moment our condition is met and a trade triggers, obviously only on Capitalise to simulate, you're going to start seeing some data flowing through here. The main other difference is our widget here, and our widget is monitoring the current hit. So we've only got one condition. We're looking for a 1-minute bar to cross above the upper Bollinger Band, and it's going to trigger. So here, the needle is the 1-minute bar, as you can see here, and the line is the upper Bollinger Band. The moment the needle crosses the line, the condition will be met, and a trade will trigger. Okay, great, traders. Let's get moving on to our next item, and that's browse examples. So, there may be traders that have ideas of what they want to do, and they can create those manually. However, there may be some of you that are not sure on what strategies you want to run, or which ones would, maybe work in the market. You can always check out our browse examples. Important to note, we don't share any trader strategies. All these strategies come from the team here at Capitalise. And the easiest way to use it is either tag by certain assets or indicators, if you prefer, or to sort by everything from best returning down to hit counts. So if we go to the best returning strategies here, okay, let's look at this first one here. This is an hourly drop by 0.05%, will trigger a buy signal in EQO USD. This is the performance for the last 30 days. Has had 137 trades, 56% win ratio, 1,000%. What? Wow. We can go ahead and view the performance here. So we can actually look at the performance here of this. And you can see it looks like a live in the simulation. Wow. So whatever happened on hit 382 was almost 5% on that hit. That's why the strategy is showing so much. But it actually looks like a decent strategy, and we've had more wins than losses. Now, if you like a strategy like this, you can go ahead and use as a template. Using as a template brings the strategy up onto the wizard, so you don't have to type it out again. You just have to enter the amount that you want to use. Let's go with 10,000 US dollar. Worth noting that any word that appears in bold can be changed with a click of a mouse. So, if you want to clone a strategy or use the template and use it on another asset, you can just change very quickly EQO to BTC or ETH or to Mavic, whatever you're looking to do. We're going to leave it like this because it looked like it was trading okay. And I'm going to simulate here because I'm not connected to my real account as of yet. We're going to do that now. I'm going to show you how to connect your account. And we're going to go ahead and simulate that. Okay, great. Traders, let's go check out all our strategies now. You can go to the My Strategy page. This is where you can see all of your strategies, all of your live, all of your simulation, all of your stopped, and all of your assets. So here we can see This is the one we created here today. This is the one that the example we used. And if we go to the back test, you can see there's our back test there. Here you can also control them. If you want to go into the strategy page, you can click anywhere on the bar, or you can control them via the control panel here as well. Okay, so traders, before we get into some other features and some other strategies that you can do with Capitalise, I want to just get through some housekeeping very quickly. So I'm going to show you how you can connect your accounts and some resources that we do have. Also, you guys being very quiet out there, if you have any questions, please don't be shy. Feel free to just put them onto the chat box and I will get to them. So to go back to our left-hand menu bar here, we have our learning center. So here you can book a demo session where we go through the platform and have a discussion afterwards. You can join our community, which is our Discord community, where traders are sharing strategies, ideas, talking about market discussions, and so on. I won't go into it, but there's a lot on there, and you guys can check it out just by joining our community here. Then for learning, we have videos, tutorials, our examples where we just were, and then we have articles. So articles is a great place to come check out if you're not sure about something and you want to find out. And the easiest way is to either browse through our categories here or to just search for it. So for example, if you want to create a candlestick pattern on Capitalise, you can type it in as best you can. And all these articles will have exact examples of how to label everything. It will have a strategy example of how to create a specific one. And again, if there's something you're looking for and you can't find, you can get us here on the in-app chat. Then let's go ahead and back to the left-hand menu bar, and just to go over settings. Here is where you can set up all your settings. You can set up the time zone you want to be in. You can set up your 2FA. You can also set up your notifications. So you'll see mine are off. You can choose to have email or desktop or mobile. I always get on my mobile, so depending what you guys like, you download our mobile app. You have the full functionality of the web interface, and you can get notifications on the mobile app. So feel free to do that. And then we're going to go ahead now and just connect our trading account. So obviously the sign up for Capitalise is separate to connecting your EQONEX trading account to Capitalise. I'm going to go ahead here to my trading account, and you're going to need some details from your worth noting that you can use Capitalise to backtest and simulate, and then when you're ready to go live, you can connect your account. You don't have to connect your account. So I've got my EQONEX account up here, and how we're going to do this is I'm going to go to my profile here, and I'm going to go to API. And don't worry if you're not following, we've got a tutorial on the articles, exactly how to set this up. But just to show you very quickly, once you get that done, we will need now, the first thing we'll need request token. So we'll copy that and we'll paste it in. Just be careful, there may sometimes be, okay, just make sure there's no spaces on either side of it. Then we need to just collect our secret, copy that, and we'll just paste it in there. And I can see there's a space before there already, so just make sure to check. And then we just need our user ID. We can get our user ID just by going to our profile. And then once you have all that information, you just put it in there, and your account will be connected. So if you go to the profile there, just scroll down, and under account details is our user ID. I'm going to copy that, and I'll just paste it in here, and we can connect. Then your accounts will be connected, and you can go ahead and run your strategies live. You'll also see that your account is connected. If will show you under your name here. Great. Okay, traders, let's get moving on to some other features that you can do with Capitalise and some more strategies. So I'm going to go to create new strategy here. And here for our first one, let's look at a notify me. So you don't only have to buy or sell on Capitalise, you can use notify me strategies. So you can start or end off any strategy with notify me. Oh, let me actually start that off different. Let me say 1 minute, or wait, let me think of what we're going to look for. Okay, let me say 60 minutes after entry starts. If, let's say, ETH per future, let's say price falls by more than 1% from, let's say, the current minute, no, let's say the current hour open, then notify me. You can use any conditions to set up any strategy. This is just a notify me strategy. So if we do it like this, anytime Ether USDC futures falls by more than 1% from the current 1 hour open, and you don't have to use current 1 hour open, you could use 4 hour, day, 1 minute, whatever you're looking to do, then notify me. Obviously, a notify me strategy doesn't require an exit. You can go ahead, and if you want, you can just run it in loop. Every time this condition is met, you'll be notified of it. Then, something else you can do on Capitalise is you can use time in full. So there may be an exact time where you only want to trade, or there may be certain times where you don't want to trade. You can start off any strategy with after, before, between, except between. So there may be, let's say except between 0, 0 and let's say 0500. What time zone? We can do any time. Let's say if let's look for something else. Let's go for Matic. Let's say if Matic, let's say if it's oversold, so if the RSI is below 30. Then buy, oh, sorry, I missed something there, is below 30, then let's buy 1,000 USD worth of Matic. Of Matic USDC. So only if this condition is met outside of these hours would it trigger, and you can use this in the exit as well. So we could put a condition like something like this: close position at loss of % or at profit of, let's say, 6%, or let's say at 15. No, sorry, 115, 23. Let's say 55 TC. So you can use time and force as well. Let's just see. Jackson, you're asking a question. Okay, great. Good to hear, Jackson. Yeah, guys, just so you know, when you sign up for EQONEX is a different sign up to Capitalise, and obviously, as with all brokers, you require, some KYC or documents to be sent, but you can set it all up on EQONEX. And if you haven't got an EQONEX account, you can actually just go to EQONEX.com and quickly set it up. I don't have an account with them, but I just set this up a couple of days ago, so you can do that, no problem. Thanks for that. Then, let's go through to our next feature, and that's a dollar cost averaging. So there may be some of you that want to scale in to a position or scale out of a position, and you can use this with Capitalise. You can set these strategies up with Capitalise. So we can say something like 20 minutes after entry starts. Let's say, okay, let's use something different here. So let's use a moving average. Let's do it on BTC, USDC, moving average. And I'm going to look for a short moving average to cross above a longer moving average. So let's just go, in this case, a 9. And I'm actually going to leave it a daytime interval. When this condition is met, it's going to be met for 24 hours, and met for a full day. And then we can go and, well, let's say, crosses below a longer moving average. And we'll just do, for this example, something like a 21 moving average, day moving average. So, and worth noting is you can enact a dollar cost averaging strategy without condition. So you can just create a strategy to say every 20 minutes, buy me $100 worth of Bitcoin. And you can let that run. I'm just putting a condition in here. You don't have to. And we can say, then let's buy 100 USD. Oh, maybe I should get my syntax right there first. 100 USD. So we're scaling into our position here. When the, sorry, I wanted this to be crosses above we're buying. So when this happens, it's going to be met for a whole day because we're using day moving averages. And for that whole day, every 20 minutes, we're going to buy in $100. We can go ahead and click next. And under the next, you can skip the exit. So the strategy won't exit. It's just going to buy in. We can go ahead then and click next. And here we can loop our strategy. So this will take, so the condition when it's met, 24 hours, 20 minutes, 20 minutes every trade, which is 3 trades an hour. We're looking at about 72 trades within that 24-hour period. You may not want to take that. You may only want to take the first 60 trades. You can put it in. You can name the strategy, and we can go ahead and run live. I'm not going to run live. It won't, because the account I set up doesn't have funds in it. I'm going to go ahead and simulate that. And when this condition is met, every 20 minutes, we're going to get a trigger. Now, using just an entry is also a way just to, can also be a way to exit a position. So, for example, you may be holding, let's say, 0.1 BTC USDC. And let's say you bought it at a good price below 19,000, and you're holding it until it gets to, let's say, 35,000. You could just come to Capitalise and say, okay, if Bitcoin crosses above 35K, then sell my 0.1 BTC USDC. And again, under the next, you can skip the exit. So if you run this live, when this condition is met, it's going to sell the 0.1 Bitcoin that you had originally bought. Okay, great. So traders, let's go ahead here and let's create one more strategy here, I think. And let me see what we're going to use here. You guys have an asset that you like to trade with, or an indicator that you like to use, feel free to put it onto the chat now. And I'll most certainly use it on this next strategy. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them on as well. We probably have about 5 minutes left or so. So feel free to please put any questions that you may have onto the chat. Okay, so I don't see anyone that is that's putting any questions on. So let me just create a strategy, and we'll go ahead and backtest it, and we'll see you know, what kind of results we get. So let's go ahead here and let's use a few indicators for this, I think. Let's go ahead and say something like, let's say BTC USDC let's say, let's look for increased volume. So let's say if BTC USD 1 minute volume let's say is greater than BTC USDC. Okay, let's go with a 20-minute volume. Or let's say 20-minute average volume rather. Let's see, I've got something here. Jan. RSI over 70 plus 1 hour on 1 hour plus upper Bollinger Band crossed. Okay, yeah, let's add that into the mix here. So, okay, we'll add that as well. So Jan is looking for the RSI to be above 70, and he's looking for the price to cross above or to probably be above the upper Bollinger Band. So we can most certainly do that as well. Jan, you know what I might do on this one? I don't know if it's a clever idea because the market has been. Actually, I think yours might be a better idea. So let's leave the volume. Let's see what we get. Let's go ahead and say, and if BTC USDC RSI on a 1 hour is above 70 and let's say upper Bollinger Band crossed. Okay, and if BTC USDC, Jan, I wonder if you're looking for the price to cross above the upper Bollinger Band. You're looking for a bar to cross above the upper Bollinger Band. I'm just going to go with, let's go with price and see what happens. Crosses above the upper Bollinger Band. And I'll use the same time frame as the RSI. Remember, you don't have to, you can mix and match. So here we'll just go with a 1 hour. And then let's say, let's sell 1,000 USD. My connection today, USD worth of BTC USDC. And, you know, for something like this, Jan, I'm not sure what your exit would be, but, you know, we could create a few exits. We may want to say, look, let's close the position if the asset becomes oversold. We'll say if BTC USDC RSI, we'll say, let's say crosses below 30. I'll use a 1 hour as well. Crosses below 30. We could add more, or let's say if BTC USDC, I'm just going to put something else in here. I'm going to look for a 1 hour bar to cross below the middle Bollinger Band. BTC USDC. That should work. Or let's look for a bar, and I'll just look here for a 1 hour to close below the, well, let's say is below. Sorry, guys, I do seem to be having a network issue here. I'm just working on this. So we'll look for a 1 hour bar to cross. Oh, should get my syntax right as well. Wow. All of a sudden, my connection just feels really slow. I'm not too sure why. Let me see if I can just finish this off. Okay, middle BB, and then we'll test this and see how it runs. I'll just leave it at actually these two conditions. You may want to put a loss as added protection, but you know, let's just see how this runs. We can go ahead here and back test it. Great. So traders, I think I've taken you through what I wanted to, at least to give you a footing on how to use Capitalise, how to create your strategies. You know, if there's something specific that you're looking for and you can't find, or you're not sure about, you can always get us here on the in our chat. Let's give this a minute or so just to see how this runs. But Jan, if you know, if it won't start within the next, it should start within the next 3 minutes. But if it doesn't, you most certainly can go ahead and you know, create the strategy on your side and back test it. Let's just see here. I think should have started already. I'm sure it's my connection. Let me just give it a refresh here and see if that does help. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them on right now. We've got about 3 minutes left, so feel free to pop any questions that you may have onto the chat. Yeah, this should have started running already, so we should see some data at least as soon as this loads. Okay, so let's see how this comes out. It says it's got one hit here, but it's not showing. We're just gonna have to wait for it to finish. I'm not sure if this is my connection or not, guys. It must be my connection because it should have finished it. It should have finished. I think the volume actually might have not been needed in here because it may have actually stopped the trigger of many other hits if the volume wasn't greater. So you may want to try it without volume. Jan is saying it's such a good strategy, it can't handle it. Yeah, that'd be amazing. I mean, if this comes out at good profit, well, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's not a lot of hits that it took, but this came out at 100% win at $35 each. So Jan, yeah, you may be onto something here. You may want to try it without volume, or maybe use something like an ATR for volatility. But yeah, you would have got 2 hits there for 7%. Guys, that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much for joining in. We'll be doing some other webinars on some more advanced stuff like candlestick patterns, dynamic limits, and so on. So please be sure to catch those. Again, thanks so much for coming out, for myself and the team here at Capitalise. Have a great day ahead. Have a great week ahead, and stay safe, guys. Cheers.